our first contestant, Kelly Miracles. Miracles, Kelly Smith.
It was Wednesday, December 16th, 1974, 4:30 in the afternoon. My job that day was to deliver some signs and posters that we had created for some of our customers downtown from my father's sign shop. I tucked them underneath my arm, went out the front door, went over to our little Ford Courier pickup, and reached down to grab the handle. I blinked my eyes, just like you normally blink, and I saw a window, upside down, shattered in a million pieces. I let go of the handle. It scared me. I headed back to the front office door and said to myself, who's going to believe me? So I headed back to the truck, opened the door, put the signs and posters on the passenger side, pulled the driver's seat forward, retrieved the seat belt and the shoulder strap, which had never been used, sat in the seat, put the seat belt on, cinched myself in, pulled the shoulder strap, which was separate, connected it into the seat belt hitch, and tightened it down. And then I drove off, not thinking anything more about it. I went down Rock Boulevard, got on the freeway heading west, and just before I reached the 395 interchange, a man from California, without a license or insurance, went whizzing by me, taking the exit, hitting the front of my truck. It knocked it sideways, and it started to roll. There was a ladder rack on the top of the truck, had spikes sticking out. One of the spikes dug into the pavement and flung the truck into the air. One of the passerbys that stopped said that the minimum height of that truck was 6 feet off the ground going up. In the midst of that spiral, I opened my eyes and I saw that window. The reason it was upside down is because the mountains were on the top, not the bottom. I quickly closed my eyes again, and it crashed and rolled a few times, I don't know how many times, and landed on its wheels. I thought it was still moving. I slammed on the brakes, but I'd already stopped. I opened my eyes. I heard a hissing sound. I gotta get out of here. So I went like, oh. I undid my seatbelt, jammed on the door, it was all, couldn't open. Crawled out the back window and went and stood outside. I looked at the truck and an overwhelming feeling of love and gratitude filled my soul. I had been spared certain death. The truck, when it crashed from that spiral, landed on the passenger side of the cab. And as sitting in the truck, the cab went like this, right around me. The hood had opened up and crumbled up like tinfoil. The ladder rack was somewhere else. The car was all bent. I'm wandering around looking for my glasses. They'd been thrown off somehow. And I'm squinting, I can't see anything. And somebody said, ooh, look at his arm. What's wrong with my arm? It feels perfectly fine. I didn't want to look at it. I took my sleeve and rolled it down. The ambulance came. I said, I don't need an ambulance. Yes, you do. Get in. Well, I got in the ambulance. Still not looking at my arm. Took me to the emergency room. Went in there. The doctor, without introducing himself at all, rolled up my sleeve and said, hamburger. Oh, God, what's the matter with my arm? Then he started picking out bits of rock and glass. Ow, 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 ow. So he took a needle and started shooting Novocaine in a different part. Ow, ow, ow. And he took a wire bristle brush and went, ow! Stop about that? Finally, he gave up after a while, patched me up, stitched me up, and over the next 5 years, occasionally I'd pull out a piece of glass or a rock out of that. Sometimes when I've told this story, people have asked in their minds, how come that didn't happen to my son or my mother? And I ask them and tell them, I don't know why I was spared and others have not been. And that leads to some questions. Well, maybe God doesn't exist or God isn't fair. You can't go down that path because there's a very dark ending. All I know is that I received a great miracle. And I bet that every person in this room has at some time in their life also received a miracle, great or small. But we don't remember. You know, our society, faith has been pretty much replaced by technology and science. But I'm here to tell you, faith is just as important today as it has ever been. I urge you to do 3 things. Number 1, recognize the miracles in your life. Write them down. Maybe you don't remember them, and maybe you don't realize that one of them was a miracle. It was just a happenstance or chance or something. But maybe it really was. Write them down. Recognize them. Number 2, remember them. Think about them. Ponder them. Be grateful for them. Those are great gifts for you. And the last thing of all, is believe that they did happen, that they can happen, and they will happen again according to your faith. Miracles are real. Believe